Right, here we are today. This is going to spin a lot of people out, and if you don't think I'm qualified to do what I'm doing, I've got two answer tickets here. One of them's to drive a boat, another one's to be an engineer. When I went to school to do these, they taught us on how to read legislation, because if we break legislation and being responsible for ourselves, we are liable. So just get that clear straight off the bat. I also have one Centrelink FOI, Freedom of Information, and one Child Support Agency, Freedom of Information. So I know exactly what they've done to me. I also show you, that's an NAP form if anybody's interested. And this is just to prove that I've kept every piece of paper, nearly one of the first pieces of paper Child Support ever sent to me. Okay, amongst that, I've got my little trusty notebook because I've read the legislation about 5 times. I have the legislation sitting right in front of me. And on here is the little bits and pieces that I'm going to talk about today. So to start off with, the most important thing that I reckon we should talk about today will be number 26. This is what the register uses to make your registration of your child support. Alright? But remember, every time they send you out an assessment notice, what's on it? Name of the father, name of the mother, and the name and date of birth of our children. That gets sent out in a mail with on an envelope saying private and confidential. Now, fraudsters, as I've been in jail, I know how they work. They get this letter, they can do identity fraud on our children. And I don't like that, alright? Got that off my chest. So, today I just want to talk about 16, 16AB and 40 in the legislation. If you look it up on the internet, it's easy to find. And if you get these numbers, well, you'll be able to go through my videos again and pick them up. Alright? Secrecy and super secrecy. It's keeping their stuff to themselves and being allowed to delete their mistakes off the system. That's wrong. Alright? What's that there for? Well, this here, my friends, is a workplace order that got final orders put on me. And in that, it says that I put the integrity of the child support in danger. I'm not doing nothing of that sort. I am just sitting here reading his legislation. Now, as final orders have been approved on this, everybody in this does put a false document or changed a document to suit themselves. As I know, I've got all the evidence, and they're going to shit after they hear this. They're liable under the Crimes Act, and they've submitted false evidence to the court, and they lied to the court with their evidence. So if I prove that, a lot of people are in big trouble. That's all I'm going to say about that. Alright, so we'll jump to number 15, 1B, the registrar. He hands over all his responsibilities, so he takes responsibility for his actions, right? Have a look how many people he lets take responsibility for his actions, including the payee, alright? Now, if I was him, I wouldn't be letting anybody take responsibility for my actions. I know I'm responsible for my actions, and I'm doing this, so that explains that pretty easy, doesn't it? Alright, now we're going to go to 10A, 1B with 2 I's, right? Qualifications. There you go, I'm qualified to do my job, what I'm doing now. I've asked these idiots, and I've got a letter from, and I've got all the responses that I've sent to all the ministers and all this too, alright? Child Support Agency Compensation Officer for Victoria and Tasmania. Now I'm telling you, this bloke is nowhere near qualified to do that job. Okay, got that off it. Alright, from now on, I'm going to go to 16C. What is a Commonwealth debt? How can you have a debt to the Commonwealth if you do not owe them any money? Fair enough, if they paid the payee every month and didn't get paid, then you would owe the Commonwealth. And that's the only way I can see you owing the Commonwealth, because in all the legislation it says the payee is the payee. So, just for a little thing, I just want to jump back, because when I mentioned the first bit, number 26, 1995, I told the Child Support Agency in Victoria about sending my kids personal information with their date of birth and the mother and father's name and date name on it. Alright, and I told them, anybody gets this information, they can take identity fraud. At that time, Mr. Jeff Mutton was the Child Support Agency officer for Victoria. Right? Now, I come down for 4 years down and 3 years from today, I found a little document. Alright, and this is it here. This is it. See it? Just to leave it for you. Alright, this document is an internal document for the Child Support Agency. And it says in there quite clearly to send out the kids' names, date of birth with the mother and father's names on it. It says it in there clearly. Now the registrar is not listening one bit. And from now on it's just going to get really, really serious, and I'm going to rip shreds off these bloody legislations that they've made. I'm going to make the bloke that made this legislation look like a dickhead. But, like, in my freedom of information from the Child Support Agency, they actually give me the piece of paper when they first rung the police on me. But, in that freedom of information, what was left out was his name. Well, his name was actually Mark Delaforce, Victorian Police, and he was at Lara. Alright, got a good memory too, so I know exactly everything, so I don't know, I'm just here to help people and hopefully open some eyes up to some people that have never had a Child Support Agency registered case. Things are only going to get worse as the videos go because of more. I've got it all written down. I've got notebooks everywhere and they're full of shit like legislation. Because I've had to chase legislation all around. Even the Crimes Act, 1914. Criminal Code Act, 1994. The Privacy Act, that's another one, just while I'm talking about it. Small business. Right? A small business is a business that doesn't make over $3 million annually. Alright? And the Privacy Act says about that they're not allowed to give out any of your personal information without your consent. That's in the Privacy Act. So for the Child Support Agency that have harassed a lot of small businesses and threatened them, because I've actually got the letter from there when they sent to me boss that went at the start of the videos. Right, it's in there, and his response was just ended on a date. Right, as I've done it over the same dates, Centrelink Freedom of Information. Right, they sent him, because I didn't have a separation certificate, they sent him a letter. So this is to ask why I'm not working and the date that I stopped working. Right, and in that, that's quite interesting because it says that Leon's at no fault. So, we'll just wait and see. I don't know if I'm going to do a video tomorrow. I might have the weekend off and see what their responses are to see if they're going to come into mediation with me and drop any charges on me. So, we'll just go and work it out and see. But until then, see you later.